Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tucker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, hello, Miss Poppy. Hi, and Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. Howdy, Alan. Hey. Hello. Hi. Poppy, what food could be more appropriate for July 4th than barbecue?
It's barbecue time, Peggy. And you know, not everybody feels like running the smoker all night. And so for those of you who have a yen for the barbecue, I suggest on the 4th of July, you head right on over to Blue Oak Barbecue on North Carrollton, because those boys have got it going on. There is a spicy chicken sandwich that they do that is kind of fantastic, but it's all delicious. Brisket, ribs, pulled pork, chicken, ribs, of course, smoked turkey. Their roasted garlic, mac, and cheese. Oh, holy moly. Their ginger sesame slaw is really a great version of a slaw. And, of course, barbecue beans and potato salad and Brussels sprouts, you know, de rigueur these days. Now, they're open normally 7 days a week from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., but they're opening early on the 4th of July, so you can go forth early, but don't go by on the 5th. They're going to close on Tuesday the 5th. So now, if you're looking for something wet and wild on the 4th of July, Milagro Tequila is hosting a pool party at the Windsor Court Hotel. Oh, Peggy, doesn't that look like fun? And that's going to be happening between noon and 3 p.m. on the 4th. There'll be great Milagro cocktails. It'll be a super place to spend the 4th of July. And then, if you make it to the 5th, on Tuesday the 5th, join Amaris and Jordan, our friends, to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of Palm & Pine. They're going to have pop-ups from Emmy Lou's Barbecue, K Pasta. They're going to be serving a birthday frozen drink that comes with admission. Johnny Mastro and Mama's Boys will play from 8 till 10. And Peg, burlesque from Bella Blue.
Sounding good. Well, Poppy, before we go over to Alan, though, a special congratulations, Mrs. Kenny Tobin. We have a photo to prove it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Peggy.
He seems like a really nice guy, doesn't he?
He's a really nice guy. I've been waiting for this man for 50 years. I'm so glad he finally came around.
Well, I am too. Congrats. Alan.
Pop that cork. We're ready to go.
Yes.
You know, Peggy, every so often I get invited to take part in a theatrical experience because of my work as a theater critic. And this past weekend I drove to Atlanta to check out the world premiere for Trading Places. Yes, of course, Trading Places. It's a world premiere of a new musical based on the wonderful 1983 film that starred Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Well, leading the cast of players is none other than Bryce Pinkham, who was the lead actor in the Tony Award winner for Best Musical in 2004. That was A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. The biggest change in this particular musical, you know, from the film is to change the character that Eddie Murphy played to a woman. Anissa Foltz takes on that role with a ferocity that's just amazing, but she's also really, really funny. Bryce Pinkham plays the Winthrop part, if you will, Louis Winthrop III. This production was directed by Kenny Leon, another Broadway veteran who won a Tony Award for directing A Raisin in the Sun. But this guy right here, Josh Lehman, he steals the show. He plays Beaks. and he has got grace and comic timing to boot. You might not expect it from somebody who's a large actor. And Don Stevenson also, who plays the butler Coleman. They're all wonderful. Broadway veterans Mark Kudish and Robert Wolpe play the two Duke brothers, Mortimer and Randolph. And in particular, they are wonderful with scenes, Mark Kudish with Michael Longoria, who plays Phil Lopez, also / Ophelia. After the show, Peggy, check this out. Michael Longoria visited with his New Orleans friends, William and Winona Lazaro, who are on both sides there, and Judy Sullivan. Imagine, I had to go to Atlanta to meet New Orleans folks who love theater. And for those who have a free night tomorrow, don't forget, check out Schoolgirls on the African Mean Girls, presented by the NOLA Project. It's very funny, but also a topical discussion dealing with colorism. The ensemble's very good, with authentic Ghanaian accents, directed by Tanaj Jackson to great effect. And again, that also brings up the NOLA Project. They're having open auditions for the first time in 3 years. There's their season. You can see it there. But they can also offer anybody who wants to be a part of their Theater for the Bold to, by appointment only, go to thenolaproject.com, work with us to make an appointment, and they will have the appointments on Monday, July the 18th at Marquette Theater at Loyola University, and maybe you can be a part of their season.
You know, I'm so glad you said that, because some budding actors have asked me in the past, just sort of on the fly, you know, like, gee, when are auditions for plays, you know? And they're really, that doesn't happen very often. And so I'm glad to hear that you're promoting that.
It's really difficult, too. JPAS has been trying to get a number of Hispanic actors, et cetera, to be part of In the Heights, which they're going to be putting on as well. And they're trying to do their best job to get as many people as they can.
So I just say, if you're looking to try and be in a play, just call the theater organization and see when, you know, when.
And I think theater, the theater, Tennessee Williams Theater Company is also doing Summer and Smoke. They've been looking to get some people out there.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, Alan. Tonight, we welcome our Essence Festival of Culture visitors with tributes to two of New Orleans' most beloved musicians. First up, WWL-TV's Eric Paulsen focuses on Fats Domino. And then Gwen Thompkins puts a spotlight on Alan Toussaint. Enjoy.
Regardless how big people say I am, I feel much bigger when I'm in New Orleans.
Antoine Fats Domino was New Orleans, a man much more comfortable at home in the lower Ninth Ward than with presidents or pop stars. But his music took him around the world and made him internationally famous. He was born on February 26, 1928, in the lower Ninth Ward, where his brother-in-law, a musician, taught him how to play piano as a child. He dropped out of school to work as an iceman's helper.
I used to deliver ice, I told you. I used to make an ice truck, too. And everybody had a piano. I used to stop. And the man used to say, "Where Fats at?" His son would say, his son used to work with him. He said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, they got a piano over there. You better go look. He might be where they left the piano at. That's where Fats at." And that's where I would be. If I see a piano, I stop for a while and they could come get me.
In 1949, producer and musician Dave Bartholomew discovered a young Antoine Domino playing piano in a club. Their first collaboration, The Fat Man, was recorded at Cosimo Matassa's studio, and it took off. And the two never looked back.
And now, did you have like a favorite song you did?
Well, I like Blue Monday.
Blue Monday may have been a favorite, but the list of songs Fats turned out over the decades is staggering. In all, Domino and Bartholomew had more than 36 top 40 hits throughout the 50s and the 60s. Fats Domino earned 23 gold records, second only to Elvis Presley. Even Elvis once called him the real king of rock and roll. Add to his hit songs hundreds of concerts, appearances in movies and TV shows, Grammy Awards, and induction into the very first class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you see his enormous impact on the world of music. Fats, who always was shy and reclusive, loved his hometown so much he was reluctant to leave even during Hurricane Katrina when floodwaters swamped his Ninth Ward home. Fats was rescued and performed one last time in 2007 at a concert at Tipitina's. It would be his last public performance before his death in October of 2017.
For more than 50 years, Alan Toussaint spread the sound of the Crescent City around the world. He's been called one of the most influential New Orleans musicians of the 20th century. But despite that, was soft-spoken and humble. His music did the talking for him. Toussaint grew up in the Gertown neighborhood of New Orleans and started playing music at the age of 15. He scored his first hit when he was only 20. He wrote and produced songs for the greats.
It's raining so hard.
Irma Thomas.
The worst person I know.
Ernie Cato.
Working in a coal mine, going down, down, down.
Lee Dorsey.
Went to a fortune teller.
And Benny Spellman. Toussaint also collaborated with bigger acts, Paul McCartney and Wings, LaBelle, Glenn Campbell, Elvis Costello, and many more. As a songwriter who composed nearly 1,000 songs during his lifetime, Toussaint said he found his inspiration everywhere.
Everyday life is inspirational if you're just open to it and enjoy the day and enjoy the scenes and interaction with people as they interact with each other.
More comfortable behind the scenes, Toussaint stepped into the spotlight after Hurricane Katrina, performing across the country. He won a special Grammy Award, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and was awarded a National Medal of the Arts by President Obama in 2013. Toussaint's love for music kept him recording and touring right up until his death after a performance in Madrid, Spain in 2015. His memorial service at the Orpheum Theatre in New Orleans featured some of the most beloved names in music. They and an extraordinary collection of fans took part in the traditional New Orleans second line that followed.
And thanks so much to producer Dominic Massa for those wonderful packages. Now over to Poppy.
You know, New Orleans is the home of the brunch, thanks to Madame Begay. After all, she's the one who got that brunch thing rolling back in the 1850s. But this summer, New Orleans, brunch is happening everywhere. It's the meal to do. So, for instance, at Saba, brand new, Saturday and Sunday brunch with Elan from 10 a.m. until 2:30 p.m., and how delicious does it get? Ooh, shashuka, yum. All the delicious things, the house-smoked salmon. Go and have brunch at Saba. But also, every day at Gris Gris on Magazine Street, it's going to be brunch every day of the week, all day. Chef Eric Cook has new menu items like a chicken and shrimp mock choux with a crispy skin-on thigh served with Gulf shrimp and a corn mock choux. There's a 14-ounce house-cut ribeye on the menu now that's for dinner only. Brunch is served Thursday through Monday. They're closed on Tuesday and Wednesday, starting at 11 a.m. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Brunch is everywhere. And of course, there's always breakfast at Brennan.
Of course. Poppy, I love the word mock choux, and you say it so well.
Oh, thank you, Peggy.
Thank you so much. Last Friday evening, right before a performance of the new Hollywood film Elvis at the Prytania Uptown, members of the crew of the Rolling Elvi gathered to honor Elvis, of course. I had a chance to visit with some Elvi on the red carpet outside of the theater.
And tell us about your get-up, sir.
I'm Quackers, and tonight I'm wearing a genuine Karen Martin creation. And this is what Elvis wears Memorial Day to Labor Day, summer wear.
So tell us about Elvis's affinity for the jumpsuit.
Looks good. we all look good in it, right?
And now you're also, and not only are you in the Elvi, but you're also in the Rockers. Tell us about that other group that's within the Elvi.
The Jailhouse Rockers is the dance wing, and you'll probably see some of that popping up tonight. So stay in your seats.
And hello. Hello. Hi there. Your name, sir?
I'm Scott Galante, and I'm the captain of the crew of the Rolling Elvi.
Woohoo! the proud captain and one of the founders, huh? An early. Okay, got it. So tell us about which part of Elvis's life are you depicting tonight?
Well, tonight, since it's a movie and it's really hot outside, I figured I would do Blue Hawaii. One of his famous movies when he was younger, and it's perfect dress for a tropical movie.
Absolutely. How long have you been involved with the group?
I joined in 2008 and enrolled for the first time in Muses in 2010. So.
Well, I've got to say, you were there pretty early on, too.
It's been a while.
So any favorite Elvis movies?
I got to be honest with you. I mean, I just can't get over King Creole. It's New Orleans, it's young Elvis. It was when he was really happy to be in front of the screen. It was fantastic. Always gonna love King Creole.
Well, I've got to tell you, I understand you had a little something to do with having tonight happen. So from all of your adoring public and fans, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, but I could not possibly take all the credit. The guy behind the camera right there, Doug Marshall, our king of schmooze, is the man that put this all together for us. Thank you very much, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Hi, and your name?
I'm Emmett Bartholomew.
Stephanie Adams. All right, so Stephanie, you're clearly a Priscilla, right? Tell me about what you do in the Priscillas.
Well, we just represent. We try to get the crowd hyped up. We focus on what the guys are doing with dancing and rolling. So we're kind of like auxiliary, but we're out there to really support the crew and support the guys.
Now tell me, how many years have you been in the Elvi?
Just about 3 years. Did you get my concept here? Did you figure this out?
No, I did not have a chance to ask you yet. Tell me.
Here's the concept. You ready? I am the king of Heineken.
Ba-dum-bum. Well, y'all have a great time. Thank you. All right.
And once again, thanks to Doug Marshall for this video. And we'll visit with some other Elvi a little bit later, but now back to Alan.
Boy, those Elvi are loud out there, Peggy.
So much fun.
Well, you know, Peggy, if it's time for Jazz Fest, you know, Poppy's going to have a pork sandwich in her bag. And when it comes to rolling around the time for July the 4th, you know very well that you and I are going to discuss one of our favorite movies of all time, 1776. And why would this year be any different? So we're going to start off with the original cast. And I really recommend everybody listen to this. But one of the things about this particular version, it stars, of course, William Daniels, who's still with us, thank God. And of course, the late Ken Howard, John Cullum is still with us as well. Betty Buckley, of course, was in it. Rex Everhart was the person who sang the part of Ben Franklin, but the original role was done right there by Howard Da Silva, who, of course, played the role with Ken Howard and William Daniels in the film, which was also directed, very interestingly, by Peter Hunt. Then, of course, the revival of 1776 came out with Brent Spiner. Some of us will remember him as Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, but it also starred Pat Hingle, who you'll remember from some of the Clint Eastwood movies as well. Now, Peggy, before we go anywhere else, I want you, before you go to the Alexander Hamilton, I want to keep this secret, but there was a new Diane Paulus directed 1776 with a female, all non-binary in some cases, and trans actors who are coming out. This is going to turn 1776 on its head because for many years people said it's all male except for the one role that they have for Thomas Jefferson's wife and Abigail Adams. So therefore, you know, let's see what happens. You know, the ladies are taking over. Now, go back, if you will. Let's go to Ron Chernow's fabulous book. This is the book that started it all. It's the book by Ron Chernow that actually Lin-Manuel Miranda was reading on his honeymoon, and he saw it, and he said, hey, we got to have this now. Guess what? Hamilton's out on Disney+. You can see the original cast in all of its glory. And for those of you who want to read a little bit more about Hamilton, I recommend The Revolution, which is the book about all the inner workings, etc. And then again, if you don't want to read a book, then why don't you maybe go to the Sanger Theatre and you can check out their national tour that's still running through July 4th. I believe they're taking off on that particular day, but it's going to continue into July. Go check it out. Hamilton's The National Tour.
All right, thank you so much. And time for some picks. The stars are out this weekend at the Essence Festival of Culture. Nicki Minaj, Janet Jackson, and New Edition, to name just a few, now through July 3rd at the Memorial Convention Center and Caesars Superdome. Go to essence.com for details. Nationally known, but of course New Orleans-based soprano and soloist Sarah J. McMahon will perform a concert concert on Sunday at 3 p.m. called Stars, Stripes, and Summertime Blues. Yes, indeed. And she'll be accompanied by Lyndon Uter. It will be held at the St. Francis Xavier Church on Metairie Road. It's free, but a donation is certainly gratefully accepted. Hot dogs will be served starting at 1:15 p.m. And a little later that evening, City Park presents their annual Happy 3rd of July concert. This will be held on the Gold Ring, the Great Lawn of the Gold Ring Walderberg Great Lawn, across from the Peristyle. It is free. Folks will gather starting around 6, and at 7, Robin Barnes sings the national anthem, and then a performance from the Marine Forces Reserve Band. Fireworks around 9 o'clock. July 4th, starting at 5:30, there will be a 4th Fest party on the Mandeville Street Wharf at Crescent Park, with music and food trucks. Fireworks at 9 o'clock. And now, more picks. Poppy.
Well, first of all, Peggy, I'm very jealous about that runway experience that you had on the red carpet earlier this week. But I would not wanted to have sat behind Scott Galante's hair at the Prytania. It would have been a terrible seat. I wouldn't have liked that. But anyway, color me green. I'm jealous. But it's July. We're just talking July 4th. The Tales of the Cocktail is coming back. Finally,
yay.
They're going to turn 20. This is going to be July 25th through the 29th at a new venue. It's all taking place at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel this year. All the tickets are available online. Oh my goodness, get the tasting room ticket. It is so much fun. It's back. It's Tales of the Cocktail.
Ellen.
One of my favorite times of year is Tales of the Cocktail time. Well, I'd be remiss. Behind me is Tulane Summer Lyric Theater, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say how well done the production of Bandstand was. Their next production at Summer Lyric is going to be Into the Woods. That's going to be running on July the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th, and I highly urge everybody. That's a wonderful James Lapine, Stephen Sondheim show, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's great for the kids as well. Nothing untoward about it, but it's a little bit of an adult lesson in the second act.
Absolutely, yes.
The theater,
it does get a little dark. You're right, you're right. And now, though, let's hear from some more members of the Rolling Elvi before last week's Elvis movie premiere. By the way, there is a subgroup of the Elvi known as the Priscillas, and that's as an homage, of course, to Elvis's former wife, as you saw.
Hello, hello. Would you please give me your name and tell me about your outfit tonight?
My name is William Johnson, Big Will. I've been, I don't know, something I threw together for the picture show.
Absolutely. What are some of your favorite Elvis movies?
Oh, the Blue Hawaii. When we were kids, my sister and I used to watch Elvis movies on cable. We used to run them, repeat. Remember? They used to go over and over and over. We watched all of them. King Creole. It was amazing. It was wonderful.
Have you been a long-time Elvis fan?
Yes. Once again, as a kid growing up, it was the movies that drew us to Elvis. It wasn't as much as the music, it was the movies, and of course that introduced us to the music, and the music's legit. So yeah, we were Elvis fans as little kids growing up.
What's it like to be on a scooter?
It's way more fun than you could imagine. You know, the first time we did it, you dress up in this costume, everything is so awkward. You're trying to get all of your throws to fit on this little bitty scooter, and you think, there's no way this is gonna work. And then you start rolling, and it all comes to you. You realize, this is perfect. It's the perfect vehicle to carry all your stuff, and everyone's so excited to see you, and you get your throws out, you're nimble, you can go back and forth, you can get in and out. It's
all right, so Michelle, tell us about what tonight means.
I'm very excited to see this film. I think it means there's a little bit more mainstream love for Elvis during 2022. I'm so excited to see what happens.
Are you inspired by Blue Hawaii? I love your outfit.
Yes, I'm very inspired by Blue Hawaii. I'm also inspired by not being too hot.
Extremely inspiring. What are some of your favorite Elvis movies?
I really love King Creole. It's one of my favorites.
Man, that is the one. I mean, if we were taking a poll tonight, that is the #1, which of course makes sense, you know.
He's wearing blue jeans and he's wearing a white t-shirt. How cute is that?
What is not to like, right? Hi, what is your name?
Jesse Elliott, also known as Cheesebag Elvis.
Oh, well tell us about your costume.
That is the Rolling Elvi. This has been the same costume that I actually rolled in 14 years ago. I don't think it's ever been washed. It gets Febrezed about every 3 years, and we're good to go.
Well, tell me, what are some of your favorite Elvis movies?
I would say King Creole, that's it.
I'm telling you. So you're one of the early members, huh?
Early, not the earliest, but early. Yeah, you get the 10-year badge when you've been for at least 10 years, you get your little sheriff's badge.
All right. Well, have a great time tonight. Thank you so much. Okay.
RollingElvi.org for more information. And of course, they're referring to the fact that a lot of them ride on scooters in many New Orleans parades, including Muses, of course. And now, just a few more final picks. It's a busy weekend. And next week, too, on Wednesday, don't forget the Louis Armstrong Summer Camp and Faculty Concert at the Ween Center, featuring Donald Harrison Jr. and Jermaine Basil and Don Vappy. Woo! Check on the Eventbrite website for tickets, and you're helping the camp. The Thursday at Twilight concert series at City Park's Pavilion of the Two Sisters is back for the summer. And next Thursday, the James Rivers Movement will be performing. Mint juleps and food available. Looking ahead, on Saturday, July 9th at the Shane Mansion, which is of course part of the funeral home, the Krewe de Pink will present a chocolate dessert tasting competition it's a fundraiser to fight breast cancer. Go to krewedepink.org for ticket information. All righty, and just back very briefly to Poppy and Alan. So what do y'all do? Do you fix hot dogs, or are you eating barbecue this weekend?
Ribs.
Ribs. All right,
my
Alan.
thing. I'm all about the bone.
You're all about
Kosher hot dogs are what I am all about.
All right, like Nathan's?
The only difference is I'm a New Orleanian, so guess what? I use mayonnaise. Sorry about that.
Did you know that at the Broad Theatre, they have Nathan's hot dogs? And that's at the Broad Theatre.
But believe it or not, those aren't kosher.
That's true. Okay. Well,
Hebrew National's kosher.
Right. Well, happy 4th of July. Thank you so much for watching.
Happy 4th.
Good night.
Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.